Welcome back to the channel. I am so excited for today's interview. We have the founder and CEO of Northern Spruce Media, Alex Coombs, with us.
What's up, world? What's up, world? What's up, world? What's up, world? This is Alex from Northern Spruce Media.
And we're talking all things media, getting your home ready to be shown in its brightest, best light for the MLS and the open market. I'm really excited to share some of the tips and tricks that Alex has for you. But without further ado, let's dive in. All right, Alex, welcome to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
I'm super excited. I wish the cameras were rolling for like the last 10 minutes because we just had the best conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to like bring some of that into today's video.
Yeah, thank you.
So there was an intro, but why don't you kind of share a little bit with the audience who you are, what's your company about, what do you do? Tell us everything about Alex Coombs.
Well, my name is Alex Coombs.
Yeah.
What's up, world? And basically, I started Northern Spruce Media 6 years ago. And I started it by myself to the point where I was so busy by myself where I was sleeping on the floor in the office, and like I hustled and I woke up in the office, and like I didn't leave the office unless I was shooting, and I was just constantly shooting. And it got to the point where I was so busy that I started having to hire people. So 6 years later, here I am with 13 employees, and we're still growing, and it's so exciting. But other than that, I don't know. I love to travel when I have time to travel. I'm hoping to take some time this year to do that because it's been a while.
Yep.
I love hats, as probably everybody knows as well. Wear many in the business, and I just love them. Unfortunately, I don't have any today. But other than that, I'm a hustler. I'm a driver, and I just love business. I love talking about business, so I love doing this kind of stuff.
Yes.
It's super fun.
Amazing. And how did real estate photography or real estate media, how did that get on your radar?
Oh, that's so funny. I actually met a client that I was having a coffee with, and he was ordering hats off of me because I used to own a hat company. And basically, he was a real estate agent, and he wanted custom hats to give to his clients as gifts. So I created him hats, and he thought it was super cool. And I was like, can I just shoot one of your houses for fun? And he was like, sure. And I went in, I shot one of his houses. I didn't turn on any lights because for me, I thought natural light was like a thing.
Okay.
And he was like, tidbit for next time, turn on every single light and lamps. I was like, what the heck? That's so weird. Yeah. So that was my first client. His name's Tobias Smolders. He's with Remax, and he's one of my best friends. So I call him dad sometimes. We're so close. And that's how I got started. And from that point, he just kept letting me shoot his houses for free. And to the point where I got good at it. So once I got good at it, then he started spiraling my name, word of mouth kind of situation. And here I am now. Yeah.
Yeah. And you got very good at it.
Thank
because
you.
I love your team's content and media. I actually stumbled upon your company on Instagram, and I just loved the young energy that the branding had. And that's something that you also do, is you help other realtors with branding and branding real estate. So you can really see that in your work. Where can people find you on Instagram?
Oh my God. So Instagram, if it's personal, it's just Alex Coombs. I think it's double X's or double underscore. If you just type Alex Coombs, it'll probably
pop up. We'll throw it up on the screen too. Yeah.
And then the other one, which is the business account, is just Northern Spruce Media. And I will say, my personal Instagram is now looking like Northern Spruce's Instagram because I'm just doing so much content and collabing with myself on it, which I mean, I don't know if that's good or not, but the Northern Spruce Instagram is just gaining so many eyes. It's popping off hard. The branding, we rebranded this year, and you can just see it, the bright colors, the bold fonts.
It's so good.
Yeah, the trendiness, I don't know. I feel like we're the cool real estate company. Yes. Whereas a lot of them, it's just if you go on their Instagrams, it looks like everybody else's, where ours just looks completely different. And I take so much pride in that. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, because real estate is such a big investment, it's a big price point, people always almost lean too stuffy because they think that that's professional, but you can be professional and be a safe place where people want to engage with you past just your content creation, which I think is the best case scenario, right?
Yeah, for sure. For example, we shot a listing last week. It was in Grimsby on the Water, and the previous people that shot it seemed so stiffy, and it was just like, it was, oh God, the listing was probably like 5 million. Like, it was a very, very nice listing, but the coverage just was so bland. They didn't make that $5 million house stand out.
Yes.
And they showed us, like, the new agents that took on the listing showed us, and I was like, yeah, we can do way better than that. Like, way better. And it doesn't even take like us shooting way better. It just creates that creative style that we add into it, whether it's the music, the shots, the angles, just like even us being in that house sometimes just adds the creativity right then and there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. We, this channel is designed, and like, it is a passion project of mine to create transparency and visibility around what real estate professionals do. So for the first time home sellers watching, today, I really want to dive into the craft, if you will, of creating media for your listing. Because we know that 52% of buyers come from online, and having a strong online presence is super, super important and really imperative to the success of your sale. And I would say that for like 99% of realtors, they do some sort of professional media, but now we have to take it that extra step, and we need to put a little pizzazz in there. And I think that's where Northern Spruce Media like really highlights and really shows us a masterclass of like elevating that experience. So I'm excited to dive into some questions and
let's go.
Learn about your craft.
I love it. Let's go.
So the first question that we have, as a real estate photographer, what do you believe are the key elements to make a property stand out in photographs and videography, especially for first-time home sellers?
I would say right off the top is just like, first, just make sure the house is ready before we get there. There's nothing more that could bring us down than going to a house and nothing is ready. There, you can still see the people like rushing around, or they'll be like, can you move this from this room and then this from this room? Just make sure the house is ready, because ultimately, like for us, I know some companies are different, but for us, we usually shoot with one photographer, one videographer. We don't have somebody doing everything, so we kind of have to shoot some things twice. And then with videography, if you're getting a horizontal and a reel, we really have to shoot things 3 times. So if we have to move that object 3 times, it's so easy to forget something when you're focusing on so many other things. So I'd just say, first, make sure your house is fully prepared. I think another thing just to elevate, and I'm just saying this out loud, is twilights are killer. Like if you shoot something at night, it shows the house in a different view. And it can just make your listing pop so much more. So let's say for twilight, just make sure every light is on in the house. Don't be sitting in the living room watching TV because we can see you. And then the other thing is like, a lot of people forget to turn on their garage lights. So if we have to go in and turn on the garage lights, like that's no problem. But sometimes nobody's there. We don't have the lockbox and the garage lights are off. And then everything is lit minus the garage. Yeah. So things like that, like summertime, just making sure like the upkeep of the outside is nice. Like grass is cut. Like you got some good greenery going on, some flowers, like that always stands out. I think the outdoor shots are what grabs people's attention before anything else. So just make sure your curb appeal is curby and appealing.
Curby and appealing. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the stat? A buyer decides in 8 seconds on the MLS and the photo is like this big. If it's even worth going to see. So I totally echo that the curb appeal needs to be curby. It's so funny. I was just driving down, I don't know where, I was Countryside Road yesterday, and they had this big immaculate white house and it was gorgeous. But I was like, it's kind of ugly because there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no flowers. The grass is green, yes, but it's not cut. I was like, you're not doing this beautiful house justice. Like I wouldn't look twice at it just because it doesn't have that curb appeal. So do you have a point in your process, either before you get to the property or once you get to the property, where you identify like a key characteristic or something that you really want to like capture? Like what take us into your brain when you get to a property. What does that process look like?
The one thing that I really like to do, and I think everyone should just do this. So if this is any photographers, videographers watching this, do this before you even start shooting. Walk around that whole house from start to finish. Learn about the house, the layout of the house, and like you'll just feel different after you walk it. So then once you walk it, you can shoot it the way it deserves to be shot. And I didn't really realize I did this. A client told me I did this. And she was like, you shoot these houses so well because you take the time to walk around and look at everything. And I'm like, holy crap, I actually do that. Because I just finished doing it and she told me and I was like, crap, okay, cool. So now I tell my team to do that as well. I'm like, don't walk in the front door, set up your tripod and start shooting.
Yeah.
Walk it first, walk it. Make sure everything is like put away nicely. Like, yeah, we'll move some things here and there. Make sure all the lights are turned on. But like beyond that, you have to get to know the home because every house is different.
Yes.
And the one thing that we always say is like, if it's, let's say it's a $300,000 house downtown Hamilton, obviously it's not very great. And then you're shooting a $3 million house next, just shoot every house like it's luxury.
Yes.
Because it all deserves that love and care.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I totally love that. And I think that it goes back to those like marketing principles of telling stories, right? So if you don't know the layout of that home and you don't know those little nuances or where that mirror is, not having those kind of ahead of time can really show up in the final result. So I totally appreciate that.
Thank you.
Can you share any tips and tricks or advice for first-time sellers on how they can prepare their property to look the best in photographs? So I think, can we go a little bit deeper outside of like, obviously like decluttering and like put your dirty dishes away? You would be surprised. So outside of that, what recommendations do you give to first-time sellers?
Okay, this is huge. One, make sure all your light bulbs are the same.
Okay.
It is like, it's such a thing because like if we go into a master bedroom, let's say you have one blue light and then one yellow light on the lamps. And I'm like, oh my God.
Totally.
And it just changes the color of the whole room. So make sure your light bulbs are all the same. It got to the point where I was starting to bring light bulbs with me. And I was like, I kind of got to stop doing this because now I'm changing people's shit around and I shouldn't be doing that. So I stopped. But like, make sure all your light bulbs are the same. It makes a huge, huge difference. So that's number one. And like my photographers are going to thank me for saying that out loud because it is a big thing. But the other thing is,
I don't think I've ever actually heard that one, but that one, it's such a simple, inexpensive way, but it totally makes sense to just keep the continuity throughout the house the same. So I love that.
Yeah, it got to the point where it was like we were shooting some houses we shoot with the Wolcotts, and there was this one room where the lights were so different, and they were like, is there any way you can change the lights? And I'm like, I can do my best, but it's gonna look not that great. You know what I mean? So that was one instance where I was like, okay, something needs to change about this, but like the agent's got to tell their clients about it, right? So light bulbs, number one. And number two is everybody wants like a nice clean slate wall. Nobody wants yellow walls anymore.
Yes.
So unless like there's like a really driven like power wall in a house that's like bright yellow or bright red or like it has that like oomph to it, but just walls that are just always yellow or like washed out brown, I'm like, oh my God, it makes the room so small.
Yes.
Just lighten it up. Just do a paint job and it does wonders.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Those light bulbs and paint.
I love the light bulbs. Like we are going to add that to all of our sellers checklist because again, it's such a small, inexpensive way that you can elevate the way that your home is being perceived in the open market.
It's true. It's things people don't think about.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally didn't even think about it.
You're going to go on MLS later and you're going to be like, bad light bulbs. Shit, bad light bulbs. Almost everybody does it. Yeah. So
that's so funny. All right. Next question. How do you approach capturing the unique features and selling points of a property through photography to attract potential buyers?
Ooh, that's a good question. Now, here's the thing. Some listings, you just shoot the wide shots and like that's all it is. Yep. But if you want to elevate it, you got to put on a better lens that has some depth to it. And you're going to focus on certain parts of the room. So sometimes I'll shoot a kitchen and I'll shoot it wide, but then I'll switch the lens. Let's say I'll go from a 16. The photo people here probably know what I'm talking about. So I'll shoot from a wide and then I'll go to a tight, but it gives that like that homey, like magazine vibe, and it definitely elevates the footage. So you can do the same with photo or video. So I tell my team, I'm like, guys, if it's just a regular house, yeah, shoot wide. But if it has that like great staging, it has those white walls, everything is clean, slate, so good, switch that lens over by the end of the shoot and then start doing some nice high-end detail shots. It gives it that magazine style and it just looks so good.
Yeah. And I love that you're using the verbiage of like magazine style, because I use that with my sellers all the time. More specifically with our feature sheets that we have in the property, we want it to feel elevated.
Yes.
If this is a big asset, and like you mentioned, it doesn't matter if it's a $300,000 house or a $5 million house, that is someone's largest asset.
Yes.
And I love that you take that care in the quality, right?
Thank you, yeah.
Because magazine quality and like elevated media is so important.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna finish one more thing. So I shot this really big house a few weeks ago, and I was like, I'm gonna handle everything. So I shot the video, I shot the photos, I did everything, twilight, everything. I spent probably 4 hours in that house so I could take my time. The homeowners were gone, which is perfect. It's like, it's a photographer's dream when there's no homeowners or like no pets or anything. It was just ready. I could take the time I needed. And I shot that house for 4 hours and I shot it full magazine style. If we are given that time, it just makes our process so much easier and we can put that time into the house. It works and it shows so much better.
I love that. I love that you take such pride in giving that quality, which is so good. So you mentioned that you did photo and video. So question off script.
Yeah.
If you had to decide one medium that you were going to shoot for the rest of your career, video or photography,
okay,
which one would it be?
It would be video.
Video, and why?
Video, I can just show my personality through it more, whether I'm in front of the camera or even behind it. I can just, with the way I move and the way I want to see things, like I feel like I can really tell a story. I'm not saying that photography, you can't tell a story, but I've always been that person since I was a little kid. I got my first like handheld video camera and I was just filming everything. So like I really resonate with it. And yeah, for me, it's just telling a story, creating cool things. I just love creating cool things. And in this world that is everything is digital, I just want to keep up. And like, I'm 35 now. So I'm trying to keep up as fast as I can, but just being able to keep up and keep that creativity, video is where it's at for me.
I love that. That's awesome. So in your experience, what role does high quality photos and videos play in generating interest and inquiries on a listing?
So what role?
I feel like you kind of have a little bit of a story, and like maybe this will make the edit, but you shot something after someone and arguably it was the same house, but you elevated it. Can you talk us a little bit more about like how that presented differently than maybe to a consumer that's kind of looking through it on the...
Well, I think like the way like we elevate our stuff, I already mentioned, is like we have people really good at what they do. So photographers, they're really good at the photography. The videographers, they're really good at videography. We're all pretty good at the drone stuff as well. But like to elevate it, since we're not the jack of all trades for everybody, we can focus on that one thing that we're really good at. So since we can focus and take the time to do that, it already elevates us. If I'm like doing photo and video within an hour and a half, the quality's not gonna be 100% throughout. Like I'll fully admit that. But if I have the time to do it, then yeah, it'll be better. But with real estate, everything is like this. You got to be fast. You got to be fast. Like the homeowners want you out of the house usually fast. The real estate agent has 5 other things to do that day. So it's like, you got to move fast. And then us, we also have like 10 listings a day. So we got to move fast. But if we were giving the time and the photographer's given time to do the photos and take the time to do that, yeah, it can elevate it. But the other thing that also makes us better is we have editors. Okay. So the photo team isn't shooting all day, editing all night. That's how you create burnout. That's how you create like the lack of care, you know? So what our team does is the photo will go out, they'll shoot, they'll upload it to our server. The photo editor starts editing 6 a.m. the next day. So we do keep the 24-hour turnaround time, but the photographer isn't burnt out not wanting to edit Because at the end of the day, it's like we want to rest. We need rest. Like creative people need time to do nothing.
It's true.
Yeah. So it's like when we have time to do nothing, it resets our brain, it resets our bodies. So in the company, photo people, video editors, photo editors, social media team, marketing team, and then we have the admin team. So everybody in their own roles, I think that generally elevates a listing because we have the team to do it.
Yeah.
Nobody's stressed.
I love that. And then you know that every detail is taken care of, right? From admin to getting the booking to all the way to delivering the content.
Yeah.
Where was there a moment or was there a situation that taught you that lesson? So maybe it was you as an entrepreneur, kind of first as a solo photographer, videographer, admin, boss person.
Yeah.
But I'm curious on, that seems like such a wise business decision. And like, how do you come to that?
Well, it comes to it because like when you start feeling your team burning out, the quality goes down and then the clients complain. And I'm one that loves feedback. So for example, if something isn't going right with our photo editor, you know, maybe they had 15 sets of photos to edit that day. And by the time they get to 15, the quality is not there. Give me feedback. Let us know. So then we can bring on another person to then we can split that up, you know, and we're actually training another person. So when that happens during spring market, we have 2 photo editors. Not one is taking all the heat and like the quality is going to be good because they're going to be doing 7 and someone else is going to be doing 7.
Yep.
But how did I learn that? I just learned that because like, if you can't give 100% in one thing, then the quality is going to go down. People are going to start not wanting you anymore. Yeah. And I want to be the best of the best. So I cannot be the best if it's just me. My team can't be the best if it's just them. We need to work as a team. So that's how we get shit done and we get it done properly.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I think even just as a realtor who's used your service, like I felt that. And I like my questions were answered promptly, like because you had somebody specific to take care of even just that client care. So from a client perspective, it's definitely working. So keep it up because it's
thank you.
I think there's some magic there. And I think that you've like hit something, which is really cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Next question. Are there any common mistakes or pitfalls that you've observed among first-time home sellers when it comes to capturing their property, and how can they avoid them? Is there like a common, like, I don't know, like maybe we'll call it like your pet peeve?
I think it might not even be the seller's thing, like fault, but maybe it's communication about the realtor letting know the sellers that we're even coming, or even like what time we're coming and like what to expect. Okay. So like sometimes the sellers are there by themselves and the agent doesn't come, and that's totally fine. But just like make your seller aware that we're going to be in there, we're going to be there for 2 hours and we're going to be running around their space, their home. And if there's 5 people in the house, mom, dad, 2 kids and a dog, then like we all have to shift them and move them all over the place. And it allows us not to do our job properly. Yes. So it's like, make the sellers aware, like just tell them to go. I hate it, but I'm like, sometimes they have to go in the garage, you know, like just go hide in the garage or just like go for a walk. And I get it. They don't want us in their space, but for us to do the job that we want to do at 100%, we need the time to do it without like bodies moving around, shuffling around. So yeah, just like be aware that we're going to come, be prepared that we're going to come, and we're going to be there for X amount of time to make sure the job is done properly. Because ultimately, like, here's the thing. Like I said, real estate's so fast. Everybody wants that listing up tomorrow or yesterday. Yeah. What am I saying? Yeah. So it's like to get that job done, like, and done properly, and we want it to look so good and make you happy and the seller happy, then just getting them out of the house is the best thing to do.
And I think that you like hit it perfectly. We talk a lot about communication. Yeah. Communication is one of our values. It's one of like, it's in our mission statement, because we have heard it time over time where someone is frustrated with any process, even if it's outside of real estate. Yeah. And the breakdown is often in the communication. That would have been it's so avoidable to just give the sellers a little bit of a heads up of like what's going to happen. Yeah. Give a soft recommendation that maybe we should go to a coffee shop, go spend 2 hours at the in-laws, whatever it needs to be to like get out of the home. Yeah. Because what's also happening is that your team is going into this home and now they're not just focusing on their craft. They're also focusing on the relationship piece of the seller, and they're managing to making sure that they feel comfortable in their own home. Yes. And it's going to water down the whole entire process. So
very good point. Yeah. Communication is everything. It really is. So
yeah, really great point. Can you share any success stories or examples how your photography services have helped a first-time home seller achieve their selling goal or attract more offers?
Ooh, I mean, I'm just going to go back to the house I shot a couple of weeks ago, the really nice one. So the agent told me that they're really good friends of theirs. And we've shot all the houses that they've sold. Okay. So they really already trust us. They know our process, everything. And I knew that we did a really good job. One, because the seller just let us do our own thing. And they just knew and trusted the situation that we were going to be there, or I was going to be there for so long. The second thing was I knew I crushed it when the builder of the house contacted me wanting me to do work for them. Okay. I was like, okay, done deal. Yes. It's that magazine style. It was the time. It was the care that I put into it from like not only like the agent's perspective, their client's perspective, and now the builder's perspective. So I tapped on 3 different personalities and traits and everything like that. And it elevated my business. And ultimately, like the house is killer. Yeah. And it spoke for itself, but just giving it that life. That I have to show you the videos.
Yes,
really good.
Please.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about photographs and videography. Yes. I would say that those are probably the 2 kind of main things that people think of when listing their home. What are other services that you offer that just, again, add and enhance the buyer experience when looking at those listings?
Well, the big thing that I find that almost everybody uses is floor plans. Yes. The detailed floor plans are very important. Even me, like when I was looking at houses or I was just looking at places to rent, I need to know like where things are, the size, so then I know what I'm going into. Yeah. I'm not going into, because photos, here's the thing. Photos always make the room look bigger. Of course. But if you look at the floor plans, you're like, okay, you can kind of put that in perspective before you go and see the house. Yes. So floor plans are just definitely one of the biggest things. Almost every agent says it's like very important. Yeah, very important. Very important. Like you need to know how big the house is. I think the other thing, and it's not always necessary, and I try and tell people it's not always necessary, but drone services are very important. Only if it's like in a great area. Don't, if you're like, if you're downtown Hamilton, like right behind DeFasco, like don't do drone. Fair. It's not gonna help. It's gonna deter people. Yes. So like drone is like one of the best services for good reasons and for bad reasons. But it can show the property. It can show the property in a different light, a different view. Drone is amazing.
I love drone. Drone is probably my favorite part of media day at a listing because I just love seeing the thing like zip around and fly around, and it's giving such a different perspective to the property. I think, I hope drones go nowhere because I love it so much.
It's so funny when drones like started coming about, the restrictions were massive. And now they're so loosey-goosey. They're still there, but they're not as bad. As long as you have your basic license, like you're good to go. But other than that, like the other service that we're starting to offer is FPV drone. Okay. So we're all training on it, and it's basically like it's point of view, so flying through the house like that.
Very cool.
We haven't done it in a house yet because no one's like good enough yet. But like we'll get there. I bought it. We're training on it. We're all getting dizzy, but it's good. The other services that we offered, like if you just need something, let's say you're an agent and you need branding. Yes. Branding, done deal. Packages, like listing books. Here, that's the thing too. It's like when you have the open house, like what is that booklet going to look like? You know, so make sure the photos look good, not only on the screen, but in a book. It needs to look good in all different elements, right? Other services, just content creation. Yes. Like what you're doing right now. This is awesome. This is really awesome. So I'm proud of you for doing this. Yeah. People need to do more of this. You know, they need to elevate their business. Like as an agent, you're a brand. Yeah. You are a brand. Totally. So fucking kill it, you know? So
yeah. One of the services that my sellers absolutely love is the 3D tours.
Yes. Yeah.
So
really?
Yeah.
I think it's hit and miss.
Think it's so, especially from a seller's perspective, they just think it's such a cool piece of media. They tend to like keep them. They like want to like keep it as like a keepsake. Like it's just, So I would say the 3D tour is
so the 3D tour by like the iGuide or Matterport, like the walk
where
around
you
thing?
like click through.
Yeah.
Okay. They love it.
Yeah. Some people love it. Some people hate it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why. Some people just like the clients that don't understand how to click on the dot maybe, or if like they click the wrong dot and it zooms and you're like, how do I get back? Yeah. So I find like it's more or less the floor plans for us. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a poll question for social media. Thing. What do you like better, floor plans or the tour part?
Curious.
Yeah.
Leave it in the comments below if you have experienced or seen the 3D walkthrough. Leave below if you are for it or if you're like not about it.
Yeah.
We'll add to the results for your poll.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
So you hinted on it. What trends are you seeing in the real estate media space? So you were talking about this new drone. Do you see anything else that's kind of rumbling in the background and give us a little sneak peek on?
Oh my gosh. The things that are, here's the thing. I think a listing always does better. And if it's more or less for the agent, I would say, is if you're starting the video with a personality. If you're starting the video with a face right on camera, you're grabbing people's attention. Why? Because people are nosy.
Yes.
They want to know what you're doing. So, and the thing is like, it doesn't have to be a long 1 minute spiel about the house. Make it quick. Pop in, do snippets here and there. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, we're at 123 Main Street. And then come on in kind of thing. And then you're inside and you're showing how the house lives. So live with the house. Show the way the house works with people in it.
Yes.
So adding a little bit of lifestyle into the videos it was trending last year and it's still trending this year, but like now it's time for the videographer to make it different. So what transitions can we do from you getting from the living room to the basement kind of thing, you know? So it's like working with the agent and doing trends that are cool. The transitions are massive, but doing them properly. You know, you do have to have a good videographer to direct you a little bit, but I think on camera stuff is really cool. Keeping up to date with the trending music and editing to trending music is so much better. If you're just using any song that's off of like online Artlist or Epidemic Sound, like it's cool for the horizontal stuff. But if you want it to pick up and have traction and grab eyes, you need a song that is trending.
I agree.
But not just slapping a song to it, like editing it to the song, adding the sound effects, giving it a feel, the lifestyle, everything. I think that is super necessary for listings. Yeah. And don't make it 1 minute. I tell my team, I'm like, show the best of the best, make it 15, 30 seconds longest. Yeah. You know, like don't take it any longer because I don't need to see every 2-piece bathroom. I don't even want to see one of them.
It's fair.
That's what the photos are for, you know? So like, let's just show the living room. Let's show top 10 details and then just, and then bang. Yes. You have a cool video.
Yeah. I even notice on my Instagram and TikTok, J Dyson Realty, if you're not following. But I notice if I'm not in that kind of first second and a half, people will scroll by way faster because there's not that personal connection, right? They want to like see what Jay or Alex is into. If you haven't seen Alex's Friday feature, they're fire. They're so good. And it's your personality. Like, hey world, or hi world. What's your opening line?
What's up world?
What's up world? Right? So but I like it's in here, right? Yeah. So and I remember that house because I'm experiencing it through your eyes, right? And that's really the big difference. Yeah. If you could change one thing about how homes are marketed through media, what would it be? What would that thing be?
Ooh, what would I change about it? I think a lot of people are missing the way the collaboration is working on Instagram. And I think everyone really needs to start bringing their clients involved in it. So, I mean, if we go and shoot a crazy listing for you and we do this really awesome edit and it's fire and we can collab with not only you, why don't we get your clients involved? Like show that off to them and their audience, you know? So not only are you getting views from me, you're getting views from you. Now your client is spreading it like wildfire. So it's going to elevate it. You're not getting double the views, you're getting triple the views. And who knows who's going to share it? Our last video that we did, every Friday feature we do, we collab. So we collab with the agent, maybe their business, whoever wants to be collabed with it, we collab with it. So our last one got like 13,000 views and it was like super fun. It was super cool. Like the homeowner was actually there watching us film it and she was like, whoa, this is great. Yeah. But it's just like a free marketing piece for you. It's elevating the video for us, for you, for the client.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are missing that.
Yeah.
The collaboration post is massive right now.
That's I like that one. And I haven't heard it kind of anywhere else. So I like that it's like a newer one.
Yeah.
And it's true because your seller has a full network of people, right? And the amount of times where a seller has taken like a feature sheet or they've taken a video and they've like shared it with family and friends because they're so proud of how their home is being marketed and showcased.
Yep.
You have no idea who they're showing it to. And that might be your next buyer for that property, right?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
I've been really wanting to do a piece on just talking about the collaboration.
Yes.
Because for us, like when we do our Friday feature and the agent doesn't accept the collab, it crushes me. I'm like, guys, accept it. Like, so then you can share it and you're just missing so many. The reason why we're doing it is to help you market the house for free.
Totally.
And you just missed it. You just missed the bandwagon. I'm like, oh my God, there it goes. There goes all the views. All right. You know, so collaboration.
It's definitely something to dive in deeper and maybe we'll have a deeper conversation because I'm curious on how that can look. And I'm thinking in multiple ways of like adding that collaboration. And we're going to collaborate on these videos.
Yeah.
So they'll be everywhere. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you've seen the viral listing in Toronto. It's like basically a garage and it's like barren. We'll throw up some images on the screen, but they used AI to stage this loft space. Okay. It is beautiful. I'm curious on what your perspective is on AI in the media space and virtual staging.
Wow. So I'll just tap onto virtual staging first. Virtual staging, if you can't do virtual staging in a house for many reasons, one, it's extremely expensive. Two, your stager might not have furniture because it's at someone else's place.
Yep.
Virtually stage it. Show what it could look like. You know, for me personally, like when I go to a house that's staged, I feel like it becomes livable. Like I can see myself in that space. If it's blank, and as someone who knows nothing about interior design, I'm just like, I freeze up. You know what I mean? And virtually staging, if you can just see what it looks like online before you go see it, it gives you that mindset before you go see it. Okay, the couch was here, and then you could look at your phone. Yeah. Virtually staging, I think, is incredible. It's incredible. It's cost effective. Like it's good to do. Totally. You don't have to virtually stage every photo. Just do one angle, the best angle, and just make it super cute. Yeah. And then it gives you the allowance to also do before and after. What would it look like right now? What would it look like staged? Yes. It's just another content piece for you. Yeah. And then AI. AI is going to take over the world just like cell phones did. I think when cell phones were first created, let's say, what was it, the 80s when we had those bricks? Yeah. You know, people weren't tapping really into it, but it was slowly developing. It's going to get to the point where everybody's using AI just like they use a cell phone. You don't know anybody who doesn't have a cell phone now.
It's true.
Nobody. And I think that's what AI is going to do. I think AI for real estate is going to be an extreme game changer. I am learning a lot about it right now. I'm really excited about it. And I think it's also going to change my business within the next 2 years. Yeah. I don't think it's where it needs to be for real estate right now, but my God, it is going to do crazy things.
I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think AI is a cell phone, but we just don't know it yet.
Okay. We heard it here first.
Yeah.
Timestamp it. It's happening here first, right? Alex Coombs said it first. This was so amazing. I feel like we got so many good little tidbits and tips and tricks for the viewers. Yeah. one of our asks for all of our guests that come on every month is to provide a free value. And it's usually in the form of some sort of downloadable document.
Yep.
What are you, tell everybody what you're bringing.
Well, basically what we tapped on today is we touched base on how to prepare the sellers. So we have a checklist for all sellers trying to sell their home and how to better prepare that and how to prepare for us to come. So one, we have a seller's checklist to prepare for your home. And then for people like Jay and whoever else wants it, there's a realtor checklist as well. So how can the realtor prepare for us to come so they can better prepare their client? So it's a 2-in-1.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
If you're curious about this free value, check out the link below, leave your email and your phone number, and it will be instantly emailed to you. In addition, we're also going to share our seller's guide. So there's an additional link down below, and this is from my team, and it's proven tips, tricks, strategies to help sell your house for top dollar in the less amount of friction in the current real estate market. So if you're curious in that, check that out as well. Lots of freebies down there this week. Where, one more time, plug where we can find you, what's going on, tell us everything.
Oh my gosh. So you can find me at Northern Spruce Media. Instagram, you can find us at northernsprucemedia.com. Our website is awesome. Our Instagram is awesome. And just Alex Coombs is my Instagram account. And it's also awesome. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us and taking time out of your day. Thankfully your commute's pretty short. You're kind of upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah.
I don't know where we are. But we had so much fun. So thank you so much. If you like videos like this, please subscribe, leave a like, a comment below. We post content like this every single week, and monthly we have another real estate professional join us and share tips and tricks like Alex did today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.